Okay,
We're catching.
are we good? All right. Hello, everyone. This is Coffee and Computers. Today we have a very special guest, Mathew Powers.
Aw, well, thank you. That was very good. Thank you,
Thank
Anna.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Mohsin. Thank you, Jojo. Thank you, everybody, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
It's going to be fun.
I'm Mohsin Siddiqui. I am a third year here at the IU Indianapolis, studying in media arts and science with game design development and digital storytelling as my main guy. And I'm here doing a podcast, guys.
My name is Anna Gutwein. I go by AK. I am an MA student specializing in video and sound. I am a third year, so I'm a junior. And I am vice president of this club. I run it with Jojo. He's doing the sound engineering for today.
Welcome. Wonderful. Thanks for being here. Hi for everybody out there in radio land. Oh, I'm sorry, podcast land. So my name is Mathew Powers. I am a professor here, technically a lecturer at the Media Arts and Science program here at the Luddy School of Informatics, Informatics and Computing and Engineering at IUI. Now IUI, no longer IPY. We've gone through that. When I started 18 years ago, we had three classes. We had Game 1, and Game 2. And so I'm just really proud because after 18 years, we've actually grown the track into a central track, a right brain track, left brain track. We're now doing the TTRPG and the non-digital analog game track. So we're really just, and as you know, we're filming here in MARLA, the lovely and amazing MARLA. So it's been amazing to watch my students and the program grow for nearly 2 decades. And I can't believe, I thought this was going to be a year-long gig, but now it's like, what happened? Anyway, all right, so that's me, Mathew. Oh, and by the way, for everybody, I teach Game 1, Game 3. I do games for the Navy with Todd. I teach comics, sequential storytelling that Mohsin's in right now.
Yes.
I do capstones, independent studies, way too many of those. And then, my specialty, and I also do history of video games, one of my specialties. And then, of course, I teach the new TTRPG classes. Yay, go D&D and Pathfinder and everything else. And then, of course, my specialty, and I pause for effect, that got me into all this is I do creature and alien design. And so now we've got this new collection, we got this and that. So yeah, I just we're trying to do everything gaming, and I'm just a part of that.
As someone who I think literally is in all of those classes except for capstone, it is such because I've known Powers for a long time. Yeah. It is so awesome to feel like you're kind of following your dreams kind of. And the classes, because I've talked about it because I also do tours for Luddy and stuff. When they ask, oh, what's your favorite class? I say all of them at this point because they're all so much fun. Yeah. And another thing is that it's still challenging. It's more than just oh, you're just goofing off in a class. No, these are actual college classrooms. They're here to test you and to get you for what you got. And that's kind of what I need because that's what, I'm here for. I'm here to get tested so that I can actually, learn the stuff and then go in.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, because high school, college is not high school. I mean, prison, no high school. I get it. And, but I mean, they scare the heck out of you. But in college, it's all about what you do. And also, I try to be a holistic teacher. I want to make the classes really fun and really engaging and get your guys' attention. But then also, so that will balance out all of the papers and discussions and all the semi-tests and mostly the projects. Mostly the project, get you guys to make this up because again, I'm trying to reflect the real world. Because in the real world, you're going to go to a job, hopefully a good company. You're going to have fun. You're going to have as much fun as you are working hard. And you've got to combine those together. And you've got to be able to have fun while working hard because that fun does get imbibed into the stuff we're doing. Because if you're not having fun and you're not enjoying it, even through the hard times, you're not going to be able to get through the hard times. And then that fun is not going to be embedded in it. And because trust me, I can tell when someone's made it depressed. I know when someone's made it depressed or they've been depressed making a game because I just feel the lackluster in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're having fun and you're working hard, then you're really being pushed to the top of your abilities. And that will literally go into the game or the creature or whatever you're making. And then, of course, that inspires and gets everybody else all jazzed up.
I will say, when you first started, actually, doing classes here and, teaching here, did you think it would be as big as it got right now?
Oh, God, no. No. I literally got hired and I was like, well, this will be a 1-year gig. Because I was a visiting adjunct. I mean, back in the day, after I got out of school, I worked in the real world at Option 6. It was an amazing company. We did stuff for Microsoft and Lilly, and I enjoyed all that. But it I love the people there, but just the real world aspect, that kind of business aspect didn't really work with me. And then I started teaching classes at IU and where my alma mater. And then I started teaching classes in Columbus at Ivy Tech. So I was doing what I called the triad. I was literally driving around and I was either working during the day, then IU and working and doing this and that. And I just, these were all little gigs. It was a gig economy. You know what I mean? I was just piecing my life together with this and this and this and that. And then my predecessor here left. I got the call. I came up here and I said, well, this will be a nice 1 year thing. And the next thing I know, honest to God, I fell in love with the place. I started loving all the students. I loved the atmosphere. I loved all of it. And then I just started going, as they say, polite, and this is not balls of the wall. I mean, it was, and that's a World War II phrase. That's about the planes. That's not inappropriate. But I just found myself energized by the students of the place. And then the other thing, but here's the thing, I saw all of these niches or niches, whatever you want to say, that we really needed to grow this thing. And so we started growing and growing and growing. And then the administration has been amazing because they're like, whatever you want to do to make this the best, go for it. Which is why we have MARLA, which is why we have the TTRPG classes, which is why we go to these conferences, why we do this stuff, because they're like, yeah, just go for it. And that's the same thing I want for my students. I mean, you in this industry, any industry, you have to be self-driven. You have to be able to go and push yourself and do these things without somebody telling you to do it. And sorry, I'll get into a little rant here. Nowadays, everybody's wanting to be like an automatron and being told what to do and how to do it.
Exactly.
That's not the real world. The real world is you decide to do it, and then you hope to God it matches. You hope to, and again, in the real world, you have critical success, you have commercial success, you have fan success. There are no grades. I'm trying to get rid of grading, by the way. I'm part of the ungrading movement. I'm trying to have it so it's like reviews and writings. But I mean, I want these classes to be fun and engaging and reflect the real world. And yeah, back to your question, no, I had no idea. And then, but what it's motivated me is the fact that I'm like, my God, if we can do all this, what else can we do? So that's why we're working with MARLA, working with this, we're working with that, and things are just really, for the first time, things are really starting to roll.
And since we're talking about MARLA, would you like to introduce what MARLA is?
Oh my goodness, yes, thank you guys. And again, I love Bella, I love MARLA, I love that we have I love the fact that we just have these dedicated.
Me too. I absolutely love this concept.
Well, because when we started, just to give you an idea, I'll start with the history. Years ago, when I started, way back in 2000, sorry, redacted.
We can do the math.
Yeah, no. If I said 18, yeah, no, 2007. Thank you.
7. Yes. Oh yeah, that's right. I did it backwards.
Okay, so MARLA was literally on the other side of the room, on the other side of the building. She was a 500 square foot empty room. She had a chair and a piece of wood and a table and a Johnny box, and that was it. And she was never used. And so I went to the deans and I was like, Dean, what? Like that. And then Tony Fayola, God bless him, he and a bunch of other presidents, we all came together and we got a CTL grant for $25K and transformed her into the original MARLA. You know what I mean? And then so it was kind of like this, but a little bit, but not quite. I mean, we're in a giant L block from Tetris here. So this is 1,000 square feet where we are right now. So we did that. We did the same thing. We preserved games, not officially. We showed the student work. We did all the stuff we possibly could. And then the pandemic hit. We did it and then we got moved. We got moved over here. And for like 4 years, like 2 years of the pandemic, because nobody was here. And then 2 years afterwards, up until this year, nothing ever really happened. Nothing really ever truly happened. And then what happened was about a year or two ago, Jeremy Smeltzer, he's an amazing guy. He said, let's upgrade MARLA again. I was like, hell yeah. So he did this. We got another $25K from CTL, which by the way is the Center for Teaching and Learning. Shout out to Doug Jermaloff and all those guys out there. Doug's one of my mentors. He's an amazing guy. They love creating unique learning spaces. You know what I mean? So then we got that, and then we moved in here, and then with everything else going on, which I'll explain here in a minute, I just said, all right, let's do it. So I just said, let's max. And again, what I'm doing in here is I'm trying to show as much student work as I can, as much inspirational game work as I can. And then also MARLA's taking on different flavors because old MARLA was just all games. But now that we have me, and then we have Fozzie does AI, we have Roddy does sound, we have John does storytelling, and Jacob that does traditional fine arts and sculptural pieces and anatomy studies and all these things. Literally, MARLA is changing. And don't forget, we have several collections in here too, which I'll get to that in a second with the museum status. But so what I'm practicing is the Maximus theory. Have you heard about that? Because I know our listeners and viewers are going to be really shocked by this, but I'm neurodivergent. I know. You would never have known. I got a little autism. I got a little dyslexia. I got a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? So the thing is, I know, Chuck, your guys' mouths are on the floor, right? Because I hide it so well. But the point is that when you are neurodivergent, you have so many different thoughts racing through your head. And then one of the ways to combat that or way to challenge that is to have stuff on the wall. Because I love to just look and see. And by the way, the majority, 90% of this stuff is all student work. and it's eye catching, it's stimulating, it's all this stuff across the board. And I want people in here to feel comfortable. And again, I never say safe space because I feel like that's got too many weird connotations. I want this to be a sanctuary. I want us to be able to argue, scream, and yell and fight, and then hug and go have the proverbial beer or Coke afterwards. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. But I mean, I've heard from my students that the more stuff that comes up here, the more interesting, the more they get to explore, and the more you have outside stimulating you, the more your internal stimulation is calmed down and kept in check. So that's one reason I'm doing it. I mean, and also we just got a lot of stuff. And I got to put that stuff up. And so anyway, so then long story short, so MARLA got 2 CTL grants. We got a CSL grant, which were a Center for Service Learning to help with outreach days for creatures. And for years, I've been doing this creature class. And the class has been controversial. Ooh, because you can take it like 3 times and you have different levels and you do all this stuff. And so it's gone back and forth, back and forth. And so this lovely donor family, this wonderful donor family found out about the class, and I can't say too much because I'm under an NDA, but this donor family found out about what was going on with the class and the museum and all these things going on there. And so they came into the school, and after a bunch of negotiations, so let me back up for a second here. We can fix this in post, right? No. But the point is that, no, keep this in. I love it being raw and natural. We have 2 collections inside of MARLA. Okay, and one is the Cosmic Wonder Creature Collection and Scholarship Fund, which is all this over here. So you look over here, we literally, this wonderful donor family donated $50,000. Yeah, I know, $50,000 altogether here to do 3 things. One, to create a space in MARLA to actually show off the creature work. So we have the prints, we have the 3D print, we have the drawn prints, the silhouettes. We have Blue, who crocheted all their creatures. We have Finn, who clayed all their creatures. We have like weird flesh, paper craft, needlepoint, 3D prints, clay. I mean, we have everything you can imagine. People in my class, it's applied theory. So you can do 2D, 3D, storytelling, writing, sound, whatever you want to do. It's whatever you want to do. Whatever your strength is, you bring that to the class.
Yeah.
And then, so that's going on, which is, I am unbelievably lucky and grateful. And oh my God, I pinch myself every day. Well, I pinch myself every day just because I get to teach games and creatures. And then the other thing is what's happened here, guys, is we have, the thing to tell you guys is that we have the CTL, CSL, and the reason we have this in here, and I'm sorry, I'm getting out of sync here, but I'm sorry, this is like class, right? It's chaotic. But
yeah.
But the point is that the other thing, the reason we have this collection in here, and I'll talk about the other collection here in a second, is that over the last, well, it took about a year, over the last year or so, about a year or so before Travis left, we were kept talking about what can we do to really protect MARLA? What can we do to really give MARLA, like, that candy, that hard candy coating to really protect her? And so he got me in contact with Erica Kendall from the IU Museum Collections. All right. And she is amazing. And so what happened was that we went through the paperwork, we applied, we started getting everything out. We started, Mike Lergerai and Haven, those guys started documenting stuff, started put the collections together. And just as a couple of months ago, MARLA went from being a CTL-backed, sanctuary lab to an actual official IU museum collection.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's the thing. So now you are literally sitting in if you go to the museum collection website and you look up museums, you will see MARLA at IUI in the IT, whatever it is, the ICTC building. And we literally have all the protections and join the museum. People were amazing. They gave us this wonderful man named Kelly and Erica gave us these display cases for free. They've given us the other display cases out there, and they're here to protect us and help us. And so inside of that, so like I said, so MARLA has got, we've got the creature collection, we have the museum protection, and then the big thing within that museum protection is right behind you guys, right over there, over this area here, is that we have what's called the ROM collection. Well, hey, look, it's right there. You see, right? You show the sticker of the phone. And ROM now normally ROM stands for read-only memory, right? But Travis, being the little smart aleck that he is, he's super witty. He's calling it the repeatable object menagerie. And so the thing is that now, since we're a museum, we're literally preserving all of these creature things. So, okay, gotcha. So we're literally preserving all this creature work, all this student work, and then we're preserving as much video game history as we possibly can. And the great thing is that we can literally buy and get broken discs, and we can because we're an education facility and we're a museum, we can port them over to the machines. And when you turn on those machines, we have this growing database of games that we're trying to save. And by God, I am just so lucky because we've had 3 people in just the last couple of weeks donate like 50 plus items. And then we had a gentleman come in, David Mishler, and he donated a full working ColecoVision from from the 1980s.
Wow.
And so and because you guys, and I'll end on this real quick too. The reason this is all important is one, we have to preserve the creature work and the student work to be able to show people that, to inspire students. By the way, I'll show you right there. See that where it says Homelands right there? That was done by Dustin Osham and Joel Bergman. And Dustin Osham went off to a great career, like doing all different stores and companies and things. And Joel Bergman, he went off and he went to Alchemy Labs and worked on Job Simulator. And so he made that game, Job Simulator, which is kind of like Office Space the game. But he started here doing an Unreal 3 goblin fighting game. And then, so we have to preserve that to show you guys that, right?
Yeah.
And then we show the creature stuff to inspire how we're doing something unique. And then we're the only place in Indiana that I know of that is actively preserving these games for the future. And I'll end on this one last note, and I said that twice, but Phil Salvador, who's part of the Video Game Foundation, Video Game History Foundation, he wrote this report that hit the industry by storm. And they showed that with all their studies, they show without a doubt that 87% of all games before like 2010, and I'm probably butchering this a little bit, have not been preserved or ported forward.
You two are heavily in like video gaming and storytelling, and I'm in a different path with video and sound. I want to know how you collaborate with video and sound.
Oh, it's not as much as I'd like to. And it's funny you bring that up because my girlfriend is a sound person. She actually got her degree from here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so and unfortunately, sound is always one of the last things that's kind of forgotten. But that has been recognized. So the thing now is that now video is always there, but people are really making an effort to include sound first, get sound people in there, do the soundtrack first, make games around the music, not have the music around the game. So what the point is that we know that there's been a very bad and inappropriate history with that, and that people are aware and fixing it.
I mean, your dedication to this place it's like really amazing to see, like a place. Also just being here for 3 years and watching it like grow to like what it is right now, and it's like it's gonna grow even more. It's just really cool to see a professor so dedicated to his students, and so
everybody off camera, I'm blushing. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. Hey, Kevin, thank you.
It kind of helps that like you actually like have that kind of love for that kind of stuff, like because if you guys are like listening at home, like he has a bunch of stuff on the table that like when I first saw it, I was like, this was like my kind of weird a long time ago, but I can like see that back again. Like one of the things that he has there is like a beholder, and the beholder himself, because I saw him get it at Gen Con, but that's made from like pieces of like Grover.
Yeah, the puppet
Grover from Sesame Street.
Sorry, not to interrupt. I was just gonna say the puppet master I bought this from worked for Sesame Street, and he got the last 3 rolls of traditional Grover fur, and then he's turned it in. So this is now Grover's fur is all curly, but this is what they curl and they turn into Grover's fur. They can't get the history.
Yeah, and for someone like that too, because another thing that kind of helps with that creativity is relatability. And in a world where, because I mean, growing up, I didn't really relate with a lot of people. So, coming here and all that kind of stuff, that kind of helped out with that. But like seeing that kind of love into something that I wouldn't even like need to love, or like that kind of stuff really like hits another kind of level. Because it's so much better than that. And then you also get to
right there.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
My girlfriend calls it the Grover. Instead of a beholder.
The Grover is awesome.
And by the way, the puppet wasn't finished, so I actually painted the eyes and the teeth, and I added a bunch of stuff to him.
It's amazing.
Well, you guys are amazing stuff. But no, I do it for you guys. I mean, but that's why I also rely on you guys, because I mean, the thing that I wish, and I want to know what you think about this, is like, oh, sorry, I cut you off there on that. Okay, I'm just saying, but I mean, the only way I can be effective is to know what's going to be effective with you guys. I try to be a holistic teacher. I try to figure out what's going on, but that's why I'm like, every year, I've been doing this for 18 years now here. And if you count 20 some odd, if I was down in Bloomington, right? But I mean, that's why I would tell all your listeners and you guys, I mean, that's why it's so important to talk to your teachers and talk to the administration and talk to people, because you guys are the main heart and soul of the education aspect.
Mhm.
there's no real trick to teaching. It's just the fact that I'm a little bit older and I got to it first before you were born. So then we just pass it down the line.
Mhm.
So that's why I would ask you guys. I mean, like, what are there any things that you wish? Sorry, I'm trying to flip the script, but I want to make sure I hear from you guys. But I'm like, is there
Yeah.
anything? Because again, every year I love to hear from students. What do you guys want? What do you want to do? Like I said, for years I taught the same class in spring and fall, and the students were like, we want more diverse classes. We want this. We want that. So is
Mhm.
there anything you guys are seeing or saying that we could use, that we could need, that would, or we could add, or what is it? Because every generation is different.
I think for me,
I
because
mean,
I mean, this is specifically for like
you
my
got to make sure the
case.
drip's on point.
Of course, of course. Um, one of the big things I like to like kind of see a little bit more about is because I know this school doesn't specifically have it, but a lot of like narrative design, which
Mm.
we don't see a lot of here at the school. Like I got introduced to it by another student here, and he kind of helped break down like what that is, and that
Yeah, can
does
you define a little bit more? Because that there's several things in my head when you say that.
like game writing.
Oh, okay.
Like
Okay.
specifically in that, because I also worked on like the Navy project
Yeah.
where I did a lot of like the game writing, and like because I also want to do that next semester in game
Yeah.
production
And you did
as
a great
well.
job. Did a great job.
Thank you.
AK, he did a great job. He really helped us in a lot of things.
Yes.
Mm.
Um, but that's like a big thing that like I know that I want. But I think the big thing that a lot of like the professors here at this school do is they're relatable. They don't like hide away from
agree.
it, or that
I
like
agree.
they know that this is like a stressful time, that this is college, that but they know that they know how to make you like buckle with like the stuff that you need to do, but they also kind of like showcase like the goods and the bads of it,
Yeah.
and how to like overcome with it, or how to talk to people about it. Because one of my friends, they were having a hard time with like one of their classes, like speaking up and stuff,
Yeah.
and they talked to like their professor because something about like a bad grade or something,
Yeah.
and the professor like flat out said, I kind of hate that you're not talking in the class because you have the best ideas in the entire class, and I want you to speak up more. It's going to get to the point where I'm going to start calling on you
Yeah.
so that you can speak up, and so you can share your voice. And as someone who's been like that, and someone who actually found their voice, I would say coming here, especially for like Bridge Week and like knowing all my friends, finding that voice very early was very helpful, because then I get to like go into my creative mindset as
Yeah.
well. And I know that you can probably talk about that with
I
like Rodney or like
Oh yeah,
Jahan.
completely. Well, I am first of all just floored by MAS altogether. And I have still been floored by just how much we have here, and you really can't find anything else, especially in Indiana, like something like this. Um I mean, like, I think this is appropriate to tell, but when I went into this school, like my freshman year, I was on a nursing path.
Oh, interesting.
And I just remember I've always wanted to I was really interested in writing and just anything creative. Just when people would ask, I'd be like, anything creative.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really care. I remember the first day of Bridge Week,
Mm.
I went straight to the University College Advisory, and I was like, I'm not doing nursing. Like, just put me somewhere else. And I
Oh.
overheard someone on my, like, around my dorm. He was talking about how he did, like, what he was doing. He's basically doing the same major. Like, it was MAS video and sound.
Yeah, yeah.
So I basically was like, yep, that one. That was sounds cool.
Mhm.
So, and then I went into the Bridge Week and I met JoJo. He's the sound engineer, and literally we've been friends since. And I've
Aw.
just loved this like atmosphere, and I just again relatability to pretty much everyone, and same with professors.
Opening yourself up is super, super helpful.
But
Like,
also super hard.
it is hard.
Because you guys
It
have
is
been
hard
really
to get.
brainwashed by high school and by what the fear of college. And yeah, this is the time. This is also the batter's box of life. And I'll say this for everybody because this is one of my praises. This is the one I really and AK, I love that. Thank you. I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad, and that's why. See, when you say that, I want to live up to that. So that's why I push myself even harder. Be like, okay, we got to live up to that statement. We got to live up. We got to make sure that that is a reality for AK and for Mohsin to really do that, to the detriment of my own voice.
And then
But,
like
I mean,
I want to live up to like, because people say a lot of great things about me. I want to live up to like
Yeah.
that, like that
see,
reputation.
and that's punching up. That's punching up
Yeah.
and managing up as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, and the reason they really take advantage of this now, guys, and again, I get this in, is this is one of the few times in life where you will pay us to help you do your thing, because the majority of life is some company or somebody paying you to do what they want, unless you can be lucky enough to get independent. And so that's why take advantage of this as much as you can, because honestly, God, like with my
100%.
capstones and my students, it's like whatever you want to do, as long as you write the proposal, you do the timeline, you do the stuff, bada boom, bada bing. uh, yeah, it's like let's get going on it.
It's really cool to see that how like much a professor cares and how much he wants every student to be at their full potential of creativity.
Well, okay, sorry. Now you got me. I can't be speechless or tongue tied on a podcast, but no, I really appreciate that. That really means a lot. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of
That's the
course.
sort of thing that I mean. That's a little bit of a boost to keep going,
Of course,
because
yeah.
it can be, that with the red tape and with this and that, and some people don't like it, some people do, back and forth. It's just it can be a little bit of it can be disheartening from time to time.
Mhm.
But no, I get it. I just teach and act the way that I wish I had when I was in college. Nothing against my college, nothing against IU and Bloomington. It was great, it was good, but I just felt like some things were lacking, and I just tried to cover it. And I don't know. Like I said, I got real lucky. I fell in love with the place. The students have been the students are why I stay. And now it sounds like I'm sucking up to you, but it really is. You know what I mean? I mean, I love the faculty, I love the administration, but the students are why I stay, because I don't know, you get addicted to seeing somebody go from like their head isn't screwed on straight to them developing, doing this, and then they become a professional. And then I seriously, at this point, guys, I have watched. I have watched kids. I mean, I'm helping to officiate marriages. I've watched these kids come in from like Seth coming in from, or kids that are coming in from the high school game camps, and then they evolve into the college version, and then they go out there and they get husbands and wives and kids, and they grow. And then I just taught a kid of mine. I was like,
Wow.
what? One of my students, but I taught two of them. I was like, my God. So it really is it's great to see the people evolve and grow and change. And the other reason, though, and the reason I collect all this stuff and I want to preserve it, because it really is, it's two things. It's fossilized drama and it's fossilized drama, which I say about history, and it's crystallized creativity.
Mhm.
Because
Mm.
when we're all dead and gone, this stuff will be behind, and God knows who it'll inspire.